I know is pain, guys. All I know is pain. But hello! If you don't know who I am, my name is Shook. I make videos for NBA. I also do other content in my Discord. All of these videos get posted on this subreddit. I'm just still laughing from what happened tonight. Right here at the it's called DF Sports. You can find my post. My username is Shook. I make updates with all of the news that comes out. Definitely, there wasn't too much news today. You're gonna want to be on Reddit or in Discord tomorrow because this slate is absolutely loaded with news. This is one of my favorite slates. Looking at this slate, this is probably one of my favorite slates of the season. But people talk strategy here. You can ask me questions. I'll always reply to you. Stuff about like pivots, stuff like that. So yeah, check that out. And if you ever need to get a hold of me privately, if you have any questions about anything, Twitter, Tori Langley 1992. So let's take a look at my lineup from tonight. And the downswing is unfortunately here, guys. I think I'm down like over $1,000 in the last week. So downswing in full effect. I was looking great going into the Lakers game. I was like, oh my god, I'm finally gonna cash. Finally gonna have a good night. Finally. The cash line was what, 285? Excuse me. 290? 292? 292. So what? 53. I need 40 points to cash. 40 points. And I get basement games from Anthony Davis. Like, not even a floor game, just a complete basement game, and another complete basement game from Fred VanVleet. I'm just looking at this game, and I'm like, this game is popping off. This game is super high scoring. Anthony Davis, Fred VanVleet, they have to be smashing. They have to be with the pace of this game because the halftime score was like, I forget what it was, but it was pretty high. And I was like, oh my God, Fred VanVleet, Anthony Davis, they gotta be smashing, right? And I go like this, and I go like this on Google, and I look at halftime, I click the Lakers, Anthony Davis has like 10 fantasy points. And I go to the Raptors. And Scotty Barnes was shooting 11 from the field. And Fred VanVleet had like 5 points, 5 assists, and like a board. And I'm like, I'm in tears right now from what happened. I'm literally in tears. And I see OG Anunoby has like 30 real life points at half. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on in this game? Like, look what Scotty Barnes shot tonight. He shot 13 of 19. He was 11 for 11 at one point. Let's see what OG Anunoby shot. He shot 12 of 14. So, like, Fred VanVleet, if you played Siakam, I feel for you. Because, like, Fred VanVleet and Siakam just didn't have to do anything. Because OG and Scotty Barnes just, like, could not miss. You guys couldn't picture the reaction that I had when I was like, oh my god, this game's going well. AD and Fred VanVleet are probably absolutely nuking. And then you guys probably have to picture it in your head. And then I just click. And I'm like, oh, okay. Alright, that's cool, man. So, I mean, like, I feel like I just need like an average game from AD, like 50 from AD. That's what, 20 points right there, and like 50 from Fred Van. That's a good game, but you get maybe like 55 from AD and like, I don't know, 45 from Fred, and that puts me right in the money, like literally right in the money. It's unbelievable. OG Anunoby is the most annoying player. I hate him for what he did to Anthony Davis. I actually had Jokic in my lineup, but I wanted to correlate Fred VanVleet. That did not work out. But the core that I had for today was Dinwiddie, he absolutely smashed. Karis LeVert, he absolutely smashed. Fred VanVleet, bust. And Cam Johnson, bust. So 2 out of 2 on the core, but we had some pretty good nights in the Discord as well. And yeah, I I felt like I felt very, very good about my lineup tonight. I don't think I made any mistakes. I really don't. I liked Rubio a lot when um, Garland got ruled out because we didn't have value. I thought he would play a bunch. So I was debating on Royce O'Neal or Torian Prince. Um, the only reason I did not go to Royce O'Neal was because he was projected for a lot of ownership. Unfortunately, after lock, I can't look at ownership because it doesn't update, so I didn't know what Royce's ownership was going to stay at. Um, I knew it was going to drop. I just didn't know how much. So Prince might have been a mistake. Probably should have went Royce there. With Levert value opening up, Royce O'Neal's ownership dropped. So that was probably definitely a mistake by me there. Um, so probably still wouldn't have cashed with Royce. I think he went from what 45, so I probably would have just missed. Um, but yeah, I'm just lost for words of how my late night hammer did tonight. I was you guys have no idea. I was in tears of just the amount of pain that happened from that. The downswings in effect. I go on like a week. I go on like a week or two of absolutely nuking, and then I go on like a week of just never cashing. And we're in that part where just like I'm not cashing at all. But by the way, if Discord is something you're interested in, where I have in-depth content going over each slate, player pools for cash, GPPs, cores. I also do XFL content. We've been absolutely smashing XFL. My XFL is already up for tomorrow. All the content for that is up for tomorrow. And then we also have people doing MLB when that starts. We have PGA. We have very, very sharp people that play PGA. Very sharp people that play MLB. Very sharp people that play NASCAR as well. So really great community. Check that out if that's something you are interested in. So let's go over this 9-game slate. Like I said, this is one of my favorite slates of the year, just because there is so much news. It's going to be super hectic, and I love slates like this. So definitely up there with one of my favorite slates. Looking at it before the night before, so not much stands out to me on the Utah side. Like, it's a really good spot. We have Clarkson probable, questionable, I believe. If he's in, there's not much that stands out. Like, I understand going to Mark in a phenomenal matchup. I understand going to Walker Kessler in a phenomenal matchup. Like I said, Charlotte's been very, very bad against opposing bigs. But the minutes aren't going to be, like, huge on these guys. THT would be out of play for me if Clarkson's back at that price. And, like, they're not playing their main guys a ton of minutes. Like, you're seeing 30 for Olynyk. You're seeing 30 for Walker Kessler. You're seeing Markkanen's the only guy that'll play pretty big minutes, so he would probably be my favorite from the bunch, but really no standouts. Even if Clarkson's out, there's really no standouts for me. Like, Chris Dunn's a bit overpriced. Kelly Olynyk doesn't get a boost at all. Taylor Horton Tucker, I think, would be about priced right. Once again, not playing huge minutes, but would be a bump to him. Agbaji, very low usage, but he'll play a ton, so not much for me on the Utah side that stands out. I think Markkanen would be the guy that I would definitely consider. And then big news here we have to monitor is Mark Williams is questionable. I don't know how bad his injury was, but he had to leave the game the other night with a thumb injury, I believe it was. Yeah, thumb. Don't know how bad that was, but Terry Rozier going to lead the way offensively. Very, very good matchup. I do like him for GPPs. My only issue here is, are you going to forego much better plays in the later games and lock up an early spend up early in a good matchup that is solid, or do you want to wait for players in later games that could be lower owned and could be great plays? Example being CJ McCollum, example being Drew Holiday around the same prices. So it's really going to be up to you. Like I said, I would lean waiting for that late news. I think in a vacuum, Terry Rozier is definitely solid, though, in a good matchup. I think Oubre is solid as well. Now that they're close in price, I do prefer Rozier. Gordon Hayward, I think, is overpriced. PJ Washington, I think, is overpriced. Mark Williams, if he plays, I have some interest. Dennis Smith Jr. probably plays mid-20s minutes off the bench, but I fear that we're going to have a lot better value opening up in some later games that we will talk about. Big news that we have to keep an eye on, though, like I said, is Mark Williams. If Mark Williams is out, I expect Nick Richards to move into the starting lineup. Very good point per minute guy. He would look like a very, very good value at $4,000 in a phenomenal matchup. Then I would expect Kai Jones to get the backup 5, and he would be in play for GPPs as well. So keep an eye on that Mark Williams news. That news is absolutely massive. All right. Not the best spot here. Very, very annoying. Miami plays slow. They play good defense. Orlando is pretty tough in the interior. So, not the best spot. Like, Butler has a ceiling. He's been playing very, very well of late. He'll stuff the stat sheet. Obviously, we all know Jimmy Butler is a great defender. Can get those steals and stuff like that. Not a priority for me. Like, I'm okay if you land on him. But like I said, are you going to forego better plays in the late games? I don't think so. Bam Adebayo, not a good matchup, but the price definitely is intriguing. Obviously, another good defender, double double upside. Has not been great of late, but the minutes will be there if this game can stay close. I'm not going to go to anyone else, though. Like Harrow, no thank you. Caleb Martin is overpriced. Kevin Love, no thanks. Kyle Lowry will be back, so that takes like Gabe Vincent, Victor Oladipo, those guys out of play. So for me, it's just Butler, Bam Adebayo, who I think are okay tournament plays. On Orlando, really tough spot here up against Miami. There's just nothing. Like, I'm not going to play Banchero at 8K in this matchup. I'm not going to play Fultz at 7K in this matchup. I'm not going to play Franz. We also have Wendell Carter Jr. back, so that takes Mo Wagner out of play. I'm not going to play Wendell Carter Jr. at this price, coming back from an injury, going up against Bam. We also have Gary Harris back, so that's a big hit to Cole, big hit to Jalen Suggs. So there's just not much on this Orlando team. If you want to go to like Jalen Suggs, he might be my favorite play from Orlando. Given price and probably plays mid 20s minutes, I wouldn't hate you for it. But like I said, I think there will be better value. And one of these teams that we have to talk about, speaking of potential value, is going to be the Indiana Pacers. So really good matchup here for the Pacers. Two teams that play fast. They don't play too much defense. We have Howley, Turner, TJ, all questionable. We have Mathurin already out. So if everyone is in, I like the spot for Halliburton. I think the price is about right, though, but will play big minutes. Obviously, we saw a huge game last game. This went to overtime. Only played 33 minutes in regulation. I'm pretty sure this went to overtime, which is a little bit concerning. Did the Philly game go into overtime too? I don't remember. But he'll be the clear number one on this team. Obviously, he's probably going to get you close to a double-double or more. He'll be the clear number one. He's probably going to shoot the ball a ton. So it's a good matchup as well. If he plays, I have no issue if you want to go there. I prefer other spend-ups. Like, for example, I prefer... there's not a lot of spend-ups on this slate, but I prefer Kyrie. I prefer... Steph, if he plays, even though I don't like the matchup. I like SGA a lot. Looking more towards those guys, but I would not hate you for going to Halliburton. Miles Turner, I think, is a bit pricey for me. Buddy Hield has to hit his shots to reach value. I want to say Detroit is better against the three-point shot. I could be very, very wrong there. I could be wrong. That's off the top of my head. I don't remember everything about teams. And then, like, with Mathurin out, Naismith and Nwora, they'll get boost. I think Nwora would be playable. Probably plays mid 20s minutes without Mathurin, but wouldn't be like a smash value. And I don't want to play Naismith. But if everyone is out, then we're going to have a lot of value here. So I think there's two ways they can go about this starting lineup. They could go George Hill at the point. They can go Nembhard at the 2. They can go Buddy Hield at the 3, Naismith at the 4, and then either Isaiah Jackson or Jalen Smith at the 5. The other thing that I think they could do is they can go Nembhard at the 1, Chris Duarte at the 2, Buddy Hield at the 3, Naismith at the 4, and then either Isaiah Jackson or Jalen Smith at the 5. So whoever starts at the 5, if they're out, I think is going to be a phenomenal value. Whether that's Jalen Smith, whether that's Isaiah Jackson, both phenomenal point per minute guys. I think both would look good, but I would prefer who starts. They would be an amazing value play. If they're all out and they start, obviously they're going to start Nembhard. Either way, if he starts at the point or at the 2, I think he looks amazing. Would absolutely love him. I think Duarte, regardless of starting, would look like a very good value play as well. If they move him into the starting lineup, even better. I think Naismith is solid. I think Jordan Nwora would be solid. Buddy Hield's going to have to do a lot more. He has a high ceiling. Definitely would be intrigued by him. And then just be careful here. If they start George Hill, do not play him. Do not play him. Just don't. Don't. Do not. They're not going to play it much. They're going to go more to the younger guys like Nembhard, Duarte, those guys. So do not play George Hill if he's starting. But like I said, a lot to like with the Pacers tomorrow if those guys are out. So with Detroit, we have Jaden Ivey out, we have Bojan out, we have Stewart out, we have Diallo out, we have Burks out. Marvin Bagley is probable. There's not much here. I mean, it's a good spot. Like, I think my favorite play by far, and I think he's a very good play, assuming he starts at the point. Came off the bench last game. Don't know why, but with no Ivy, I expect he'll start at the point. Probably play low to mid 30s minutes. Gets a huge boost with no Ivy, so I'd like Killian Hayes a lot for value. Bagley, I don't know what they're going to do with the starting lineup. They could start Bagley and Wiseman together. If they do that, they're both playable. I don't love the prices on either. I assume Livers will start. They're playing him huge minutes right now. He's playable, but once again, a very, very low usage guy. I don't think we would need to go there, but he's also playable. Kojo probably plays mid-20s minutes now that Jaden Ivey is out. Reasonable value, but the price is up. And then if you couldn't pay me to play Magruder, I'll mention Eugene Amorie. Once again, really good point per minute guy. But with Wiseman and Bagley and Duran back, I don't think I can go there. But yeah, not much. I think Killian Hayes is definitely the standout from Detroit. Let's talk about Boston now. So it's a good spot. I think Tatum's reasonable as a spend up. I feel like he's going to be pretty popular tomorrow. I feel like we're going to have a bunch of value tomorrow, and there's not a lot of spend up. So I feel like Tatum's going to be popular. I mean, I think he's solid at 10-6. You know, as long as he can as long as this game stays competitive, which I think he will, he'll play probably close to 40 minutes. Guy that can do it all as well. So I think Tatum does look good as a spend up. Jaylen Brown's okay, and I'm not going to go to anyone else. On to Atlanta, there's just not much. Tough matchup here. Trey's a fine GPP play for me. DeJounte's a fine GPP play for me. Clint Capella, overpriced. I want to see what Capella ended with tonight, actually. Yeah, overpriced. Not the best matchup either. The wings, they all just look there for me. Like Bay, Bog, meh. Hunter's probably your safest, but once again, I don't think we'll have to go there on this slate. I will say John Collins has minutes have been on an uptick of late. So if I was going to go to a value play from the Atlanta Hawks, it would definitely be John Collins. All right, so could have some value here. So we have Luka out. We have Kyrie Irving questionable. I just want to pull up the Mavericks depth chart because I don't think Jaden Hardy would start if. So I think it would be Ntilikina, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green. Do they start Wood? I don't know if Wood would start here. Ntilikina. If Kyrie's out, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Green. Who would be that fourth starter? I really don't know. Do you start Kleba? Maybe. I don't know. We'll wait and see. All right. So if we have Reggie Bullock, probable, I believe, right? Yeah. Okay. It'd be Reggie Bullock. He's probable. Okay. Yeah. I'm fucking high. Should have looked at that beforehand. But Kyrie is questionable. So with Luka out, if Kyrie plays, I think he looks like one of the better spend-ups on the slate. He's going to lead this team in usage. He's probably going to play huge minutes. I think this game would stay close as well. I think he would look great if he plays. We're going to have to monitor starting lineup. Like, Wood, I have no issue if you want to go to him because he's this price and he's a good point per minute guy. Like, if he starts, though, I would be very, very intrigued. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to have a massive, massive role with no Luka Doncic. I think he looks solid. Josh Green probably plays, I don't know, around 30 minutes, okay value. And then I don't think I'd go to anyone else, but we'll see what they do with the starting lineup. Like, I think Jaden Hardy, even with Luka out, might get a ton of run, would have interest in him, but I think he's solid, actually, regardless. And Ntilikina, I mean, we'll wait and see. This is a wait and see approach. If Kyrie is out, though, there's going to be a lot to like here. So Josh Green, going to have to play a ton of minutes. I would like him quite a bit for value. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be the clear number one on this team. I would like him a lot. Jaden Hardy, I would really like a 3.1K. Even if he comes off the bench, I would really like him. I think they would have to play him big minutes. And Tilakina, meh. Meh. Rather go to Jaden Hardy. And then we'll monitor the starting lineup from there. So I don't think Bullock would be playable. He'll play big minutes. They're gonna have to ask him to do more. But the real standouts for me would be Jaden Hardy, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Josh Green, who I think all would look like very good plays. If I had to rank them, this is point per dollar. Jaden Hardy 1, maybe. Tim Hardaway Jr. 2, Josh Green 3. You could flip Tim Hardaway Jr. or Josh Green. That's completely fine. And then we'll wait for a starting lineup. I think there is an off chance they do start Wood, but I doubt it. We'll see, though. On to Memphis. So we still have Ja out. We obviously have Steven Adams out. The pricing, I think, is about right now. Like, I think Jaren's priced appropriately. I think Desmond Bane's priced appropriately as well. I think the easiest to get to would be Tyus Jones, who I think he's the best backup point guard in the league, and I think he needs to be starting somewhere. He'll be starting in Memphis next year, in my opinion. Depending on what happens with Ja. But if Ja comes back, someone needs to pick up Tyus Jones because he's the best backup point guard in the league. But I still think he looks good, even at 7.1K. Like I said, Jaren, Bane, they do have a ceiling, but I think are priced appropriately. Tillman, I think, is priced about right. Dylan Brooks, he'll shoot the ball a ton, but very, very scoring reliant, playable value. And I don't like too much else there. On to Chicago. So, phenomenal matchup. Chicago's horrible, so this game should stay close. Guards have been destroying Chicago, so I like Zach LaVine. I like all three of the main guys here, actually. I like LaVine. I like Vooch. I like DeRozan. If I had to rank them, I would go LaVine 1, Vooch 2, DeRozan 3, but I think all look pretty good in a really good matchup. The guards, no thank you. Like Pat, Kobe, Caruso, Io, they're doing like a four-headed guard rotation right now, so I don't think I can get to any of them. Patrick Williams, I think, is okay. He'll play a ton of minutes, but he's more out there for defense. I think we'll just have much better value to go to, but I definitely have interest in the main three Chicago guys. On to Houston. So Kevin Porter Jr. will be back. Not much here with Kevin Porter Jr. back. Sengun, I don't know what they're doing with him. They're playing Jabari at the 5 some, so it's just like, what are we doing here? Why are we not playing Sengun more? I don't understand it, so it's hard to go to him. Kevin Porter Jr., Jalen Green. Jalen Green goes back to the 2. He won't have the ball in his hands as much, so just there for me. Same with Kevin Porter Jr. Jabari Smith had a massive game last game. Definitely feels like chasing if you're going to go there. Tari seems priced appropriately. KJ Martin seems priced appropriately. So unfortunately, Houston looks pretty unappealing to me tomorrow. And what are we doing with SGA's price here? We're all going to play SGA tomorrow. And Mark is going to limit him. We all know it. We all know it. Because SGA at 9.2K is an absolute joke. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So we're all going to go to SGA. Mark's going to actually limit him after saying he was going to be on a limit. He's going to actually do it tomorrow when we all play him. But 9.2K, if he plays his full minutes, is a joke. So I love SGA tomorrow. Giddy's a fine contrarian play. Jalen's overpriced. Dort's overpriced. I'm not going to any of these secondary guys. And then more news that we have to keep an eye on. Brandon Ingram is questionable. So if Ingram's in, I like Ingram. I like CJ in a good matchup. Jonas Valanciunas, I think, is priced about right. Only played 7. I don't know why he only played 7 minutes last game. That's interesting. If one of you can fill me in. We also have Josh Richardson back. So that's a hit to Trey Murphy. Still played big minutes with Josh Richardson in. I believe Josh Richardson was in last game. Yeah, still played big minutes with Josh Richardson in. So I wouldn't be opposed to him, but I think he's priced about right now. Herb, no. Wouldn't go to anyone else, though. But if Ingram is out, then things definitely do change. CJ, I think, would look amazing at 7.6K. Trey Murphy would have to do more. I would like him. Herb would be playable. Josh Richardson, I think, would look solid. Najee Marshall would have to play probably mid-20s minutes. He would be an okay value play. So, got to keep an eye on that CJ news. Definitely some big news. And then another team that we have to keep an eye on. Giannis Antetokounmpo, questionable. If he's in, I like Giannis for GPPs as long as there's no limit. And then Drew, I think, would be a bit overpriced. Chris Middleton would be definitely overpriced with his limit. Brooke would be able to play at that price tag. Same with Bobby Portis, and the value would all be able to play. But if Giannis is out, then I like Drew. I like Bobby Portis. Brooke is playable, but I think priced about right. Chris Middleton, I think at this price still only playing around 30 minutes, is about right. Maybe a little bit too pricey. And then, I mean, if you want to go to like a Joe Ingles or Jay Crowder, be my guest. But no standouts with the value there. Like if you want to go to Grayson Allen, sure, playable. Like would make my player pool, but would be Drew Portis. I think would be the two standouts for me on Milwaukee. So with Golden State, we have Clay probable, I believe. We have Wiggins out, Kuminga out. I want to look at the rotation last game for the Warriors. So it was 3-9. Not the rotation, just the minutes with Kuminga out. So you saw Dante only play 21, Draymond 30. This game massively blew out. Jordan Poole, I believe, was in the starting lineup. Ty Jerome crushed in the blowout, I want to say. Okay. So, I mean, with everyone healthy outside of Wiggins, I don't like much. Also, a very tough matchup. Like, Steph's obviously matchup proof, and he has a ceiling playing against anyone. So, I always like Steph for GPPs, but Clay, Poole, they seem priced about right. Draymond Green's going to be on Giannis, so it's hard for me to go there. Dante, you would think would get a boost, but 5.8K seems right. If they start Looney at the 5, I would have some interest, but if he's coming off the bench, no thank you. You couldn't pay me to play Iguodala, so yeah, pretty unappealing Golden State team there. So Sacramento, Phoenix, tough spot here. I think Sabonis, Fox, find contrarian plays. Sabonis has been playing very, very well of late. He'll probably get you 50 fantasy points. So if you want 50, be my guest. Play Sabonis. De'Aaron Fox also playing very, very well of late. I don't like the matchup, but I think they're okay contrarian plays. The Wings, it's always the same thing. One's gonna do well, one's gonna do mediocre, one's gonna get benched. Let's see what happened last game. Keegan Murray had the big game. Kevin Herter had the mediocre game. Harrison Barnes was the one who busted. And then they benched someone because Malik Monk was playing well. So your guess is as good as mine with the Wings. I would just go whoever's cheapest. Trey Lyles has been benefiting from Sabonis foul trouble, but I don't think we need to go there. And let's move on to Phoenix. So KD, super unfortunate, man. He freaking falls because of a wet floor. Just unreal stuff. File a lawsuit or something. But it's a good spot. It's a fast-paced game. I think the main guys look good here. I think Booker, I think Paul, I think Ayton all look good. Booker's been on an absolute tear of late, shooting the ball an absolute shitload. And if this game stays close, he'll play big minutes. So I like Booker. I like Chris Paul. I like Ayton. I think Ayton is probably one of my favorite GPP plays on the slate. I don't think anyone will be getting to him. Chris Paul, like I said, I think is solid as well. They're not priorities. Like, I would rather play, like, if Ingram's out, I'd rather play CJ. Like, I might lean, like, Portis, Drew Holiday over, like, Chris Paul and Ayton, but it's very, very close. Okogie, no, and I won't be getting to anyone else. Terrence Ross has played amazing with this team, but nah. Hope this video helped you all out, and I will talk to y'all tomorrow.